Welcome to the episode 11 Reality Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, I'm going to be breaking down and recapping the Anonymous episode 5. First off, I want to shout out each and every one of you that have been tuning into the podcast right here on YouTube. It is greatly appreciated. I've noticed that this show is starting to get a little bit of a following, which is awesome because obviously, as a reality TV community, we're always looking for new shows to check out. So I'm really hoping that my coverage here has helped you tune into the Anonymous. And if you are tuning in and you are watching my recaps, again, I appreciate it so much. If you are missing my recaps, stop right here, watch them as we talk about the show, but also don't miss my exit interviews. Each and every week, the eliminated contestant from the Anonymous I have right here on the Love and Reality podcast, right here on the YouTube channel that you can check out. Typically, I drop it on Wednesdays, the week of the shows, to give everybody a little bit of time to really catch up and watch the show. Also, programming note for the show. It is on Mondays at 11 p.m. Eastern on the USA Network. It airs simultaneously across Bravo and SYFY on the premiere night, repeat in primetime daily on the USA Network throughout the week. It is available the following Monday on Peacock. So if you're listening to this episode right now and you're like, I haven't watched the episode yet, folks, the episode becomes available 1 week later on Peacock. Not sure why that's why they're dropping it in that format, but I do think that they're giving everybody an opportunity to watch it on the USA Network. Try to get those ratings, as you know very well. Folks, without further ado, let's dive into episode 5 of The Anonymous. Obviously, so far, we've seen Casey, Tyrina, Sydney, all have been eliminated from the game, and we will find out whether or not Robbie or Christopher will join them on the outs. We quickly find out that Robbie has been eliminated from the game. Yes, game player Robbie, and you know what? The one vote strikes again. Robbie got a vote from Dylan. That was it. That was the only vote that Dylan got, and you know what? It has turned out to strike again. Casey was the first victim. Now, Robbie is the second victim of the one person eliminated. The Anonymous ended up being Victoria. Day one, obviously, that means nobody figured out who her digital handle was. She reveals, obviously, Robbie announces that she was a poker player in real life. She announces that she was Rocket and Dice, which kind of shocked everybody. Let's see here. Xavier calls out Chris for his little boo thing and said he's got and kind of just tried to talk to him about it and like understand, hey, like we have a situation, we've got an alliance. And Chris was like, yeah, I understand that, but you know, she's in my alliance too. So Xavier kind of sees that he'd be the odd man out. Like if it comes down to the final three, between those three, I mean, Chris is going to eliminate him. You know what I mean? Like every single time. So when he heads up to speak to Xavier about linking up with him, he talks to him about him being his favorite Big Brother player, but Xavier says he's laying it on a little too thick. Chris and Victoria, can we just call him Christoria? Is that what we're going to go with right here? Is Christoria? I like it. I like it. We're mashing up names here. These two are mucking up. She said she has feelings. What? Like what? She likes him. Both Southern, cute. The duo kiss. We got a little showmance action going on here. Danny makes Danny, our AI agent, our AI host there, makes Andy do the hokey pokey without even realizing he was doing the hokey pokey, which was one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen on TV. Xavier and Jack are chatting. Jack thinks that Victoria is playing the chat against Chris. Chris, again, Jack is smart. He is a game player. He's literally a gamer in real life. And to me, the things that he picks up on, it's quite astonishing that other people haven't picked up on how good he is at this game. But again, he's flying under the radar a little bit, and I do think that that if people don't begin to notice, Jack might run away with this show. I'm just going to throw that out there. The ladies bring up all the eliminations so far have been women. It's about damn time. I said that last week on this on the podcast here that it's time for the women to unite. It's time for the women to have the conversation and be like, "Hey guys, like, you know, we're doing things here." You know what I mean? Like we're doing things. But let's see here. And she said, it's about damn time. They chat, say it's ruthless. Victoria said, Lee, did you enjoy eliminating Robbie last night? Hold on, timeout. Sorry. Let me rewind a little bit. We go to the chat now. Sorry, we're in the chat. She didn't say that out loud. Let's go to the chat. The chat says we're in the anonymous mode, folks. I want to apologize. I got a little too ahead of myself here. Listen, in the chat, we're in the anonymous chat mode here. Victoria texted out to the world and said, Lily, did you enjoy eliminating Robbie last night? What a move. Like, I don't understand. Like, we all like the circle's fine. The circle's an okay show, but this is ruthless because you're not playing for the upper echelon. You're playing as your person and or somebody else. But in this game, you can throw whatever you want out in this chat, and there's no real repercussions unless people know that it's your digital handle. It's an amazing concept. So Dylan on the flip side goes, Wayne, you're going up tonight. And then Andy goes, Chris and Andy are next to go. And then Jack goes, Chris and Andy works for me. Like, this is starting to go crazy. Nina says, y'all lighten this chat up. Xavier is running with who says it might be time to get them out. Wayne throws Dylan's name out there in the hat, trying to throw the scent off of him, kind of. Chris said Wayne and Lily got to go. Bisma said, which women are we eliminating today? Which Lily said Nina or Bisma, which was hilarious. Chris said, we ain't targeting women, which they figured out it's a man. What a dumbass. Like, Chris has been the worst anonymous mode chatter of this entire show. Like, this dude he hasn't really outed himself of who he particularly is, right? But what he has done is played a terrible game inside the chat. But Chris was very much busted. Jack calls him out saying, you were targeting Lily, LOLLLLL. The chat is over. All right, who are we throwing up for elimination? Well, the women wanted to unite. Do they do it? All right, Popsicle, a.k.a. Dylan, picks Wayne. Lipstick, a.k.a. Chris, votes Wayne. Scissors, a.k.a. Xavier, voted Wayne. Lightbulb, a.k.a. Wayne, voted Dylan. Lightning, a.k.a. Andy, votes Dylan. Snake, a.k.a. Marcel, votes Dylan. Fire, a.k.a. Nina, votes Xavier. Flamingo, a.k.a. Jack, voted Xavier. Holy shit. That, to me, was a baller move. Okay, Jack is playing with fire here, but I think he's throwing the scent off of himself being Flamingo because he knows Xavier would think that he's not going to put him up, right? But one vote, you could go home. Eagle, a.k.a. Bisma, votes for Marcel. Wow, like that was just a curveball. Cactus, a.k.a. Curtis, she does it again by throwing Chris's name out there. Again, strategic gameplay. Jack's kind of figured it out, but we have everybody. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 people. 10 people. 10 people. 10 people. Vote for men. Robot, aka Lily, throws the whole thing down the drain and votes Nina onto the block. Are you kidding me? This entire thing was get the men out. But I will say this, great strategy. Lily seemed like an oddball early on as somebody that was either going to get eliminated or had won the anonymous. There was like no in between. So now I feel like she's kind of flying under the radar because her name was constantly up, but now it's not on there, right? So I believe because of that, she's got an opportunity to strategically play the game behind the chat, and this was a great move. One vote. Could Nina be gone? Like that would be wild. One vote, one woman. She said she knows she wants to go home. Could need to be out the door. Andy isn't up. Let's see. Andy's not up this week, folks. Andy's not up. First week, Andy gets to chill at the crib without worrying about being eliminated. All right. Wayne, Dylan, Xavier, Marcel, Chris, and Nina. This could be very interesting. Xavier and Nina are talking shop about lipstick with Chris standing right there. He said if it was the real word, he would be gone. That was hilarious because Xavier and Nina were like throwing lipstick. Like, we're gonna throw bows in real life if lipstick was sitting right here because he was throwing some hammers in that chat room. It's game time. And you know what? It's face-off time again. I love this. Remember, there is 6 boxes, right? Each individual person gets to go up and take a box. Taking that box means you open it up. It either says safe box or it says at risk. Okay. So each person, you take a box, you can take a new box, and or you could take the other person's box. So the first person that picks a box again this time, remember, Marcel picked it last time. Not only did he pick it last time, he also picked the right one and said, hey, I got the safe box again. He said, so he got the first box. He got the pick. He said the same damn thing he did last time. I love it. Xavier's up next. He said his is at risk. He said he wished he took Marcel's box. Wayne trying to stir the pot. Wayne throws people under the bus. This reminded me of Jordan on The Circle, minus this was face to face, right? He called out Marcel for Xavier for having an alliance. For having Xavier, called out Marcel, and then called out Xavier for having an alliance. Xavier gives it back to him. Xavier was like, yeah, I'm in alliance with Marcel, with Jack, Nina, Chris, Dylan, and named everybody sitting there. It was such a baller move. It was just the biggest flex. I loved it. It was amazing. Chris is up next. He said his was at risk. Xavier said he saw a sliver of hope like the first time he saw Victoria, which was hilarious. A great one-liner by Xavier there. Wayne said 3 people from his alliance will take him out if they get the anonymous. My dude is just sitting there stirring the fucking pot. Wayne took a new box, said he's at risk. Xavier jokes, would you lie to us, and lays it on thick. Nina said Marcel had the box the first time. He held the first box with both hands, but she's selecting a new box this time. She's baller, like for even not acknowledging or noticing that. There are layers to this game we aren't seeing. She said she isn't feeling great about her box. I love this shit. Dylan said that he attacked the purple, he's attached to the purple box and took Marcel's box away from him. Hopes he's telling the truth because it's save a hoe. I love Dylan. Dylan said it's sweaty, but it's okay because of safe. And Marcel looks at him and says, is it? What a curveball. Nina reveals at risk. Chris reveals at risk. Wayne at risk. Xavier at risk. Came down to Marcel and Dylan. If Dylan picks Marcel when the safe box was left, I will freak. It would have been insane. Like, just think for a minute. Dylan takes Marcel's box under the off chance that he thinks that he has the box again, and he would have picked it, and that 6th box would have been the safe one. Ooh, Dylan would have been heartbroken. But it doesn't matter because Marcel picked the right box again. Dylan is safe. Means he's not going home. Insane. Danny said, however, the plot twist, another twist this week, isn't over. She said his safety comes at a risk. Must pick someone else to be in his place. He puts up Jack, the first person. Now, the thing about it is, Wayne talked about the move. Okay, he said, look, odd person out. Like, everybody's been up. You haven't been up type of scenario. Wanted it to be a dude. Totally understand. However, this was the opportunity, as long as Jack does not win the anonymous again, to get Jack out of this game. People are underestimating this man, and he's just flying under the radar, and he is fantastic. All right, it's test time. Marcel, Chris, Bisma, Xavier, Victoria, Dylan, Nina, Andy, Wayne are all not the anonymous. It's down to Lily and Jack again. This is like the 3rd time I think it's been down to these two. Jack has the potential of being the anonymous for the 3rd time in like 6 episodes here. Insane. So Nina, Xavier, Jack, Marcel are all not the anonymous, are all not eliminated. So it's down to Wayne or Chris. To me, it has to be Chris. There's no way it's not Chris. So this is my thinking here, okay? And I'll tell you why I think it's got to be Chris. First off, if Jack won this week and he didn't eliminate Xavier and Nina, is very confusing, okay? It's time to make a move. We're halfway through the show, I think, 10 episodes. You got to make a move. I don't think you get rid of Xavier because he's your you got an ally there. Nina is kind of, but he knows who Nina is. It's time to make a move here. But nonetheless, the reason it has to be Chris is this. I think Lily won. Okay? Lily's tired of seeing the Chris and Victoria show. Okay? She even said when she said she put up Nina, she's like, I don't want her to go home. So you knew she wasn't going to pick Nina. Wayne does not make any sense. Wayne's not a threat to anybody. He's not a threat to anybody. Like, he's just not. So it doesn't make any sense why it would be Wayne. To me, it's gotta be Chris. I'd be shocked if it's not Chris. If Jack wins and gets rid of Wayne, that'd be the dumbest gameplay ever. Like, it just, to me, it would not be a great strategic gameplay. Folks, that is it for this week's episode of the Love and Reality Podcast, covering episode 5 of The Anonymous. Folks, reminder, if you got it this far, head on over to the YouTube channel on Wednesday morning. If you're watching Thursday, if you're watching Wednesday afternoon, if you're watching Thursday afternoon, Friday morning, whatever, the podcast will already be up. My interview with Robbie will be here on the Love and Reality Podcast YouTube channel. You can check that out. I will source that at the bottom of this after the elimination episode, obviously, because I don't want to spoil it for those who have not seen that episode yet. But thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Love and Reality Podcast. We'll talk to you guys next week.